Alright, guys, this talk is going to be about how to be happy as a teenager. I know sometimes it can be hard with all the fluctuating hormones and all the demands society places on you, but we've already went through part of the miserable teen section. You know why some teens are miserable? Because one of the reasons is they had premarital sex and now they're regretting it. I mean, it's not funny, but I'm sorry, I laugh sometimes at inappropriate things. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's what I do sometimes. Anyways, so my point is we have already covered part of why some teens are miserable. Let's cover how to be happy. This is from The Truth About Dating, Love, and Just Being Friends by Chad Eastham. And this time I am going to know where to go because it says it in the glossary, 167, Happy Teenagers. Whew. Happy teenagers, all right? Do you know who lives in igloos and where? Probably Eskimos in Alaska, right? Actually, no. Most likely no one lives in them anymore. The word itself, igloo, means house in Inuit, and most igloos were not made of snow blocks. They were made of stone or hide. Although we all have a pretty picture in our minds of little people in whale hides living in igloos with spears and little kayaks, it's just not true. Igloos made of snow are completely unknown in Alaska. They were only used by Canadian Eskimos at one point in history, and few, if any, remain today. It wasn't until the 1920s that a Denver newspaper erected a snow igloo near where some reindeer were kept and hired an Alaskan Eskimo to tell the visitors that he and the other people lived in houses like that in Alaska. In fact, he himself had never seen one before, except in the movies. There are so many mythical things that we have been led to believe, like Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, Eskimos and igloos, and other various urban legends. Also, Columbus didn't discover America, and he was a bad dude. Sorry. But like many of these myths, we have been led to believe they simply aren't true. There's one more myth. All teens struggle. But in fact, that's just not the case. Teens do great things. That's what I said earlier in another video. Happiness and joy fill their lives, but our media, our TV shows, our sources of information all thrive on the suffering, drama, and mistakes of human beings. Yeah, some teens suffer, but there are also many, many happy teenagers out there. I hope you are one, and if not, there might be some notes we can take from those who are. How to make teens happy. Really? And what really makes teens happy? I once read an article called How to Make a Teenager Happy. I thought, wow, it's cool that someone figured it out. Let's see what they have to say. So here was the entire secret for how to make you happy, written from an adult's perspective. I think it covers every single base. Okay, I might be a little sarcastic about it. One of the best and easiest ways to make teenagers happy is to let them have some fun. Let them get their way once in a while. At this stage in life, they do not want you to be parents. They want you to be more like their friends that do what they like to do. The 3 gems of wisdom were as follows. Sit down with your teenager and have a discussion about things they want to do that will make them happy. Have them do their responsibilities first, such as cleaning, doing what is asked of them by parents or family members, homework. The responsibilities are a must before any extra activities. This should be done with respect and without any hassle. Once everything that is expected of them is done, and you both have come to some kind of agreement on things that are allowed, let them go have fun. Now that we have cleared that up, I'm sure you have all the answers you need, right? If you sit down with your parents and talk about things that make you happy, do your chores, and go have fun, you'll be perfect. Got it? Right. Don't you just love generic formulas for life? Of course, it's well-intentioned, but it doesn't cover the complex dimensions of your life or anyone else's. Although doing your chores is important, it's not what brings happiness to people. People need more than that. Now go take out the trash. What really makes teens happy? In the last chapter, we talked a lot about the things and the decisions that help make people, specifically teenagers, unhappy and often miserable. But what about the opposite? What are the things that make people happy? One of the largest, if not the largest, and most extensive and expensive research projects on happiness was done by Dr. Martin Seligman, and it was documented in a book called Authentic Happiness. It tried to uncover some of the secrets to happiness. While I, as well as Dr. Seligman, don't think that God can be excluded as the final part of this equation, there is still a lot of great information in his research. Very simply, we look to be happy and to be fulfilled our whole lives. Some ways work, others don't. Some of Dr. Seligman's findings that I thought were interesting are these. Happiness comes from the exercise of kindness more easily than it does from searching out fun. My loneliest times are the times that I am solely concerned with myself, my needs, and my desires. The belief that we can rely on shortcuts to happiness, joy, or ecstasy rather than finding them by the exercise of personal strengths and virtues leads to a great number of spiritually starving people. Trying to just be positive without a lifestyle and habits with character leads to emptiness, to inauthenticity, and even to depression. The 6 core virtues that were noted for those who experience happiness are wisdom and knowledge, courage, love and humility, justice, temperance, and spirituality, and in my opinion, that's also perfectly in line with the spiritual encounter of Jesus. So, the best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. Mark Twain. Focusing on fulfillment in relationships, money, and people doesn't lead to happiness. There is a lot more that I won't bore you with, and I hope those words don't sound too big or adultish to think about, but I will tell you that focusing on fulfillment in relationships, money, and people doesn't lead to happiness. You have to have something deeper in your foundation. So now, yeah, he really gets into this. So I'm not going to read this whole chapter because it's a lot, but here are some things that happy people do. Happy people think about their future. They throw out the bad stuff, and it says, when you have your eyes set on future ideas, today usually finds a way to balance itself out. And this quote says, happiness is not a state to arrive at, but a manner of traveling. Margaret Lee Runbeck. And other happy secrets that shouldn't be secret. Have a diverse social life. Happier people spend less time alone. They consider spending time with friends, loved ones, or family a larger priority than people who are considerably less happy. Be healthy. This doesn't mean being ripped or super slim, but having good health is a huge contributor to feeling healthier and happier. When you take care of your physical self, it will take care of you back. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. So put down the venti-sized, nitrate-laced, sugar bomb, frozen coffee drink already. Be open, but not an open book. Happier young people are open, but they don't tell everything about themselves. There's a balancing act between keeping privacy in your life and being open with the appropriate people. It can be great to have your heart on your sleeve, but it's not always safe there, and it deserves to be protected. Avoid lying. Sounds elementary, but people do it all the time. Lying is a cancer, and it starts patterns that can be detrimental. Just as avalanches start with a few little snowflakes, even the tiniest of lies can snowball on you. So be honest. It's a better way to live life, and you'll sleep better at night. Want people to say, "Hi, liar." Me neither. Act your age. If you are 14, be 14. Don't try to be 21. There is nothing sadder than seeing a 12-year-old trying to be 20 or 30, or a 40-year-old trying to be 20 for that matter. Happier people embrace their age and time in life. Enjoy your youth. Be considerate. Showing respect and being considerate aren't always flashy, but they are seeds that grow deep in people's hearts and root you in good things. When you plant a tree, you won't see how strong it will be for quite some time, but every massive, mighty tree started with a seed. In the same way, strong relationships with family, with friends, with the opposite sex begin with the seed of consideration. It's very attractive and will not only make you happier, but you'll also find that being genuinely kind and encouraging can literally change the lives of other people. So, I just really like this book. I'm sorry. Anyways, I hope you have a good night. And so the way to be happy is basically to help other people. You know, focus on other people, hang out with other people. And I mean, that's what Jesus did. I mean, Jesus was always in a crowd. And I mean, not always, but for the most part, there were a few times he'd go off into the mountains or somewhere to be alone to regroup, but he was usually around a crowd. And when I say usually, and when I say that, it's because even when he wasn't around a large crowd, he still had his small crowd of 12 disciples. So, I mean, you know, help people. That's what's going to make you happy. God bless. Have a good night.